Brady was still chasing Joe Montana's Super Bowl total. TV12 told Julian Edelman, quote, "I ain't going for Montana.
Wow.
I'm going for Jordan." Shannon, is Brady greater than Michael Jordan?
Skip, I have to explain it to you like this. I believe Jordan is a greater basketball player than Tom Brady is a football player. But I believe what Tom has accomplished is harder to do than what Jordan has had to do. Because what Jordan has the luxury of a series. You see, the thing is, the difference is that, see, they say there's nothing like a game 7. Well, in the NFL, every playoff game is a game 7. Tom Brady doesn't have the luxury of being able to lose a game and continue.
Okay.
There have been playoff series in which Jordan has lost, what, 3-4 games?
Yep.
Tom Brady can't lose 3 or 4 games. He loses once, it's over.
You know that better than anybody.
That's it. It's the finality of it. Because you hear everybody's voice. There's nothing like a game 7. Game 7, winner take all.
What did Jacksonville do to you 1 year at home? At home.
If we played Jacksonville 5 times, if we had to play them, we beat them 3 times.
Mark Brunell.
Yes.
Yep.
And I believe the likelihood of Jordan, just think if somebody
had to score of that game, do you remember?
30-27.
Oh, it was pretty close.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, we made a comeback late in the game, tried to get an onside kick. We didn't get it.
Okay.
But, Skip, the thing is, like I said, I believe Jordan is a better basketball player than Tom is a football player. Tom teams won more. But, Skip, the Tom Brady that we saw once he got to year 6 moving forward, Jordan was always that. Jordan didn't like, well, you didn't say somebody carried Jordan or Jordan relied on this. Tom, in his first couple of Super Bowls, that defense was sensational. His 3 Super Bowls, they were 6th, 1st, and 2nd in scoring D. They held the greatest show on turf to 17 points. Tom lost 2 Super Bowls in which the defense gave up 17 and 21 points.
Yep.
We saw Jordan, Skip, that final championship game, that final championship against Utah. He scored over half the points. He scored 45. What did they have, like 89, 87?
I was there, courtside, game 6.
So that's what it is, Skip. If you look at it, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. But I believe Jordan was better at what he did than what Tom did at what he did. But Tom teams and the longevity is, we're never going to see it again. You know, even though I love Mahomes, Skip, I don't believe Mahomes is going to come close to the Super Bowls and what Tom has been. Touchdowns, we'll see. I'll check back with you in 15 years. But I don't think anybody's going to get close. This is ridiculous. No.
If you told me 10 years ago we would even be having this conversation, I would have laughed you right out of the room, because you will not find a bigger Jordan fan than I am. I had the privilege and honor of covering him last dance season at Chicago. I got to know him. You have described him the best, that when you walk into the room, it's almost like he's levitating.
Yeah, it is.
It's like he comes up off the floor, like he's walking on air.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything like it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about aura?
Yeah.
Jerry's talking about Dak has aura.
No.
There's never been an aura like this man's aura. Brady has no aura to him. If you walked into the room with Brady, he's just another guy off the field.
Yeah, he is.
But he is the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. He is a cold-blooded football killer disguised as the corny dad next door. That's how he comes across to me, because on social he gets a little corny, a little lame, a little silly, a little goofy. There's not enough cool factor to him to back up goatness.
Right.
And yet, the harder I look at what he does on the field, if you just keep it right on the field.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He has been clutch longer than Jordan, because he's had, you know, Michael just didn't have that many opportunities, right? Because Michael was pretty much done at age 34.
Yeah.
Because that was the last season. That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the apex of Michael Jeffrey Jordan in Chicago.
Right.
Then he takes 3 years off out of spite because of what they did to his coach. They sent his coach out the back door. He said, I'm gone for 3 years, and he comes back for 2 what I call ceremonial years with the Wizards. And he averaged 20 and 6, but it was kind of hard to watch because he was not in shape.
Because he's been up here for Skip.
Okay.
When the guy's up there like Tom Brady, Skip, we can't watch Tom Brady throw for 150 yards a game after as great as he's been.
He's 44 years old, and he is positioned to do it again this year.
Yeah.
I will not be at all shocked, and I don't think you will either if they pull it off again this year.
Right.
He's playing as great as ever at age 44. He won 6 Super Bowls with 6 game-winning drives. That's impossibly hard to do. Against Eli, he had what looked like a game-winning drive to me in the first Eli Super Bowl. With 2 minutes left, he hits Randy Moss, and they go up, what was it, 14-10.
14-10.
And here comes Eli, and he goes 75 yards, and it took a lucky helmet catch, but then a great throw to Plaxico. You have detailed the play, broken it down. But they did it. They went 75 yards to win the game 17-14. But Brady did what he always does. He had what looked like a game-winning drive.
Correct.
And then the other Super Bowl he loses, he throws for 505 yards, which still stands as the all-time playoff record, and scores 33. And Belichick gets 41 hung on him by the backup Eagles quarterback, Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP, and you know the rest is history. So my point is, what he did last year, and you scoff at me and say I'm overreacting, but I still don't think Brady gets enough credit for what he did at age 43. He leaves Belichick and Kraft, and you can argue whose idea that was. Did Tom want out? Did they want him out? I think both happened. And he says, I choose the Succaneers. And we're all like, even you were like, really? They were 7-9. There's a pandemic. There's no preseason. You get thrown into the fire at New Orleans, and you don't have much of a game at New Orleans. You throw a pick 6. And you struggle. You have a bad game at Chicago. You have a horrible game on Sunday Night Football. That was Thursday night in Chicago. Sunday night, New Orleans comes to your place and just dismantles you and embarrasses the GOAT. And even Mahomes comes and does ultimately beat you, but you can start seeing them start to click in the second, third, and fourth quarters of that game. Then they get their bye week, they take off, and they go win the Super Bowl. Then it emerges that he played last year on a torn knee ligament. And again, you scoff at that. You think it's been overplayed, overstated. It didn't really matter that much. But he did do that. I believe he did do that. How much it handicapped him, you can debate it. But I don't think it was pleasant, and I don't think it made him feel the freest mentally. And he says, now I feel free. I don't even have to wear my sleeve. Okay? The duration of this, the body of work of this is beyond Jordan. It just is, because how can you, he just doesn't look the part or act the part, because we're all fixated and stuck with that memory of the ugliest looking 40-yard dash in the history of the combine, and that picture of him with his shirt off, and it's just kind of hard to look at.
We view quarterbacks differently. We don't expect them to be Adonis. We don't expect them to have, have the greatest sculpted physique.
I think Cam looked pretty good.
Well, but I'm saying, Cam is the outlier. Cam is the anomaly.
I don't know what you thought of Elway's physique.
He was
just okay. All right.
But anyways, let me ask you this: do you believe Tom Brady is a better football player than Michael was a basketball player?
I believe Brady's position is harder to play than Michael's position was hard to play. It's so hard to play quarterback at a high level in this league, and I think you believe that I believe it's harder for Brady to be a great player than it was for Michael.
But I think the thing is with this, Skip, every game that Jordan, for the most part, wasn't great, they lost. Tom can be less than stellar. Remember the first Super Bowl. If Jordan had to play the game like this, Skip, they're not winning.
Okay, he was a first-year starter. I got it. But remember what happened down the stretch when John Madden's sitting up in the booth saying, they got to just shut it down and play for overtime. And Belichick and Charlie Weiss said, no, we're going to throw those. And he has 5 completions to get Vinatieri within 49 yards, and he made it.
But I think, Skip, when Jordan took the year and a half off, and was able to
mid-career at Chicago,
and it was able to come back and do what he did. Skip, we've never seen anything like it before that, and we haven't seen it. The only thing we can compare it to is Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali taking those 3 years off in his prime and coming back, becoming heavyweight champion of the world. But in a team sport, in a team setting, Skip, we had never seen anything like that before, or we're not since. I think it was Bobby Jones that had the car wreck. But in a team sport, Skip.
All right. Okay, if we go microcosm. I'll flip your question around to
Okay.
this. If you tell me for my life I can have Jordan shooting a 15-foot jump shot or Brady converting 3rd and 5, I'll take Jordan. I'll just will because he's just he's magic to me. He's like, he's godlike. He is. I would never bet against him in any circumstance, but I always tell you, the one guy in football I don't bet against in a game in 4 quarters is that guy.
Skip, because the sports are so different, there's so many more moving parts in a basketball. Quarterback got to get the snap. Offensive line got to block. Guys got to run their route. Our defensive line might get their hands up, get the ball back. See, Skip, they take the ball out, they give it to Michael. All the other variables out of the way now. He has the ball. Tom Brady has to throw it and rely on the receiver to catch it.
He does, okay.
Once Jordan gets the ball, all bets off. You're at his mercy now. Okay. Unless you bring the whole team.
I agree.
Like New York Knicks did, and then he passed it to, I think that was Weddington that dunked the ball right up under the basket.
Yep.
So for me, Skip, it's hard, but I think Tom Brady winning 7 championships was harder. It's harder to win than what Jordan did.
Okay. So then I go bigger picture, and I start to think, as I did last night, is he in the midst of having the greatest career in sports history?